Well, I'm here down the airport and we've got some pictures here of two very important people as such, two MPs who, when they arrived here, certainly didn't have the Isle of Man at heart. With them, I didn't know you were going to tell Mr Quayle. You've been giving them a tour around the island, I understand.
Well, yes, we've had numerous meetings today with them, but then with the last sort of 40-50 minutes we thought we'd show off this beautiful island to them, and they really appreciated that.
Now let's get down to the brass tacks on this thing. They are very anti this business about not having full disclosure, right, on these things. So where have you got to today? Have you met halfway or anything?
Well, no, we've had a full and frank conversation with them. They obviously want our register to be a public register. We're saying that our register is a private register and that it has all the information that's needed and is shared with the United Kingdom government. So if there are any problems with the Isle of Man register, if you haven't put the correct information down on the beneficial ownership, on the Isle of Man you can be fined or even sent to prison for putting down misleading information. In the UK there's no fine or enforcement of that. So we say that our register is up to date, it's well populated, and we share it with the UK, and we're, should the European Union want in the future to make that a condition that all EU countries share the register amongst their law enforcement agencies, then of course that's something we're more than happy to look at. But 2/3 of the business all over the world that comes into the Isle of Man, into the United Kingdom, it's not EU money, it's not UK money, and these people don't necessarily want the world to know what they own. Now there's identity fraud, there's kidnapping risk of family members, etc. We don't want on the Isle of Man, I hasten to add, dirty money, bad money. We're a well-regulated jurisdiction. We feel that the checks that we do are the current international standards, and as long as we're complying with the current international standards, then that to us is key. However, we're more than happy to meet with Dame Margaret Hodge and the Right Honourable Andrew Mitchell to listen to their point of view.
Well, we had a chance to have a quick word with them, and this is what they had to say.
I think both sides, had the opportunity to listen to each other, which was really important. Hopefully they will reflect as we will reflect.
Political. Come on, what have you pushed? Have you learned something? Are you going to give in? Are you going to let us carry on?
Are we going to give in?
Well, are you going to let the Isle of Man continue what they're doing?
I think our views are pretty clear, and we've been pretty consistent in them, and we think it's really important that there should be greater openness. But hopefully there's some listening on both sides, and maybe they'll be coming together in the middle. But what undoubtedly is true is you have a very, very, very lovely, beautiful island, and tourism might be a really good industry to expand here. I'd certainly love to come and walk around a bit.
Well, it's been an extremely interesting visit. Obviously, we've made our case. But it's been a two-way learning process, I think, and it's my first visit ever to the Isle of Man. And I've really enjoyed it, and I think we go away with some interesting things to think about. But above all, the open registers are coming, and I very much hope the Isle of Man will decide to embrace that. And we've been very well looked after. The Chief Minister and his colleagues have given us a lot of their time. We've had a most enjoyable and I think worthwhile visit. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, if nothing else, you sold the Isle of Man to them. I mean, they seem to have had a good time here, but they were saying that it had nothing to do with you going down to London to change their minds. It wasn't going to go through anyway. It was just a process. Do you still claim victory that it was partly down to you and your compatriots from the Channel Islands that helped change things?
Paul, if you don't do lobbying, you get nowhere. So I don't want to get into a dispute over who said whatever, but if you don't get out there and meet the people and get your story over, then you're never going to get anywhere.
Have you changed their minds, though, at all?
Well, I don't think we've necessarily changed their minds on the views of whether you should have a public or private register or not, but we've certainly opened their minds to what the island does from a regulatory point of view. Yes. They've met all our heads from regulation to the Chief Constable to business leaders, and we've had a full and frank conversation.
The times are changing. It's 5 years ago, since literally this week, since a letter from David Cameron hit your predecessor's desk about how things are going to change, and things are changing. You accept at some point it will be open and public?
Well, we've always said that should it become an international standard, then of course the Isle of Man will comply. We take our international standards.
Do you accept that's going to happen, though?
I don't accept, but if it does happen, we will do it.
Do you think it will happen?
It's probably the way the world is going, but it has to be. There's no point having a register that tells you nothing, that the evidence isn't relevant. We feel that our register is up to date and is gives the correct information. I mean, we've seen examples of the UK register where people are putting their nationality down as Jedi. That just wouldn't happen on the Isle of Man. So it's got to be a well-populated, up-to-date register. So we think that standards have to improve in how registers are run, and that's one way forward.
How have you left things? You got more meetings? Are you on a Christmas card list? What?
Well, I think they came away having seen a beautiful island with a very open administration, full and frank
But you haven't changed their
discussions. No, of course we haven't changed them. I didn't expect to, but I think they've now got plenty of background information on the Isle of Man that they never had before, and I think they've appreciated that.